Okay, let's see good versus bad UI. It is important to understand what is bad UI so that actually you won't make those mistakes and you'll always create a good UI. So you can see pointless inconsistency in your UI element. Like if you see, there are the two articles. One is having the this kind of a treatment to the title text. For the next article, they have some faded colors for the same title. The treatment is different. There is this is like pointless inconsistency. Like this has to be very consistent because they're same thing. So here you can see like even the image over here was like in a box, over here it is H to H. So you don't want to do that, right? We know why you should not do the pointless inconsistency. It's the same thing that has been written. Okay. Using the default drop shadow. So if you're using Figma, if you just turn on the drop shadow, it will show you some harsh drop shadow. You don't want to use that particular. You want to customize the shadow for. So if you see over here, the level 6 designer would not just add a black shadow because they want to show that this button is elevated and the background is somewhat bluish or maybe white, but it will always cast a shadow with a tint of blue and black, right? So it's not just a gray shadow that you would see, it's a bluish black or a bluish gray shadow that you would create, right, to create a realism into those buttons. Distinguishing between primary and secondary button. So like if you see these two UI, obviously this the second one looks much more easy to comprehend, right? Like you get email address and password and then you know this is the button that you should be hitting. Whether over here email ID password, okay, this is like some uh, matka that you would have to play which one to click on that. Okay, so you'll always have a hierarchy in your designs. So the hierarchy is the primary one is on the top, and then there is other option that has been suggested, which is similar to this one. Like login and sign up is like kind of a same level of actions in a way. But the forgot password is different species of action itself. It's not related to login, and so it shouldn't be matching with those. The text treatment shouldn't be matching, or the button treatment shouldn't be matching with the either of these two. That's why we usually have the primary button, secondary button, and tertiary button, and we usually specify where to use the primary, where to use the secondary, and the tertiary. So that becomes helpful for user to easily understand your UI. Same thing as in if you give try it and buy it on the same treatment, if I give, most of the user will have will just wait over here and they'll have to really take the decision very consciously, like whether they have to click try it or buy it. But over here, it is like the primary is the suggested one. Okay, if this is what I'm going to do, okay, make me buy it. If I don't want, okay, no thanks uh, is what the button says. Okay, they are the treatments are over different over here. That's why the decision making becomes easier for user. Lack of text hierarchy. So if you see over here, like in these two screens, like everything is on the same level, right? डिजाइनर को एक फॉन्ट साइज मिला है, उसने जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट करके सब जगह पे डाल दिया. इट डज नॉट प्रोवाइड अ easy, it does not provide any hierarchy for user. As a designer, you are guiding users eyes. Okay, so if you see this particular design, it says hi Siba or something like that, welcome home, this is the album name, this is the artist name. So there is a hierarchy in between this. For here, if you see, it looks like a higher. Hear me now, Alok Ziba is the title of the song. It seems like, right. So there is, if whenever you add any hierarchy, it will be beneficial for user. And there has to be meaningful hierarchy. It shouldn't be like new song top पे है तो इसको थोड़ा सा और बड़ा कर दिया and popular नीचे है तो उसको छोटा कर दिया. There has to be meaningful hierarchy. Just go ahead alignment. Yeah. So if you see over here, the title is started from center alignment, and then the body text is left alignment. You see there is something is wrong. It looks wrong, right? If you are following center alignment, you follow the center alignment. If you are following the left alignment, follow the left alignment. If you are creating apps for, let's say, Middle East, where the languages are read from the right to left, then you might follow the right alignment strategy, right? So depending on the context, but you will always follow one alignment hierarchy, specifically within a group. Okay, these two texts creates a group, so all the elements should be aligned in a same manner. Okay, low contrast to high contrast. Okay, if you see over here, there's no contrast. Where to look first? Maybe you will see Augusta F first, and that's it. Okay, but over here if you see, the bottom navigation have some good contrast with the profile icon is lighted up. Okay, the level 6 designer would always also keep a bar or something like that to distinguish between this thing. And then here you will be able to distinguish between what is this icon. Over here it is hardly visible, so this is a very bad contrast that has been used over here. Okay, so over here you will be able to get the profile picture. If it is not there, then the human icon is there. User usually guess it like a profile picture that I would see over here, right? And the profile setting, I think hamburger icon has been eliminated by this design itself. But this is about the low contrast itself. Let's go ahead. Confusing forms. Okay. Let's say you user is typing a password and he, let's say, made some error. Okay. But if you just say this is error, user might not be able to get what is the problem with this thing. Okay. So usually provide more context, and you also color like over here the red color has been used to depict that everything is error, so user can easily understand, okay, this is the field that have to change. Okay, it also provides more information regarding, like, the password is incorrect. If you don't remember password, reset it over here. So it is more helpful. More, this you would say this is clean, but this is not usable in a way. Okay, most of the user will drop out from this screens itself, but here it is more hand holding. It is more easier to comprehend for user. Poor touch target on mobile and tablet. Like if you see the cross button, if you have very small cross button, and even if you don't give a touch target, proper touch target, user will have a hard time to click on these buttons. Okay, let's say there are some of the cases, like let's say your app is going to launch worldwide. You have to take into consideration, consider the people from various races, right? The, like the people from let's say, like the, like those people who have very fat fingers in a way. Okay, so they will have hard time clicking on this particular icons. Okay, this looks like even the normal person will also have a hard time to click these icons, but you don't want to do that. You always want to design a utility icon keeping the spacing or the clickable area in mind. Okay, of course the visibility as well. The next is effective use of color and hierarchy. Yeah, so if you have a dialog box, if you just put it in the same text, user will have a hard time. Okay, do I have to read all of those things and then create, and then are this even button also, are this even clickable, and all of this, these are the things will get in user's mind, rather than over here, okay, create new job. Okay, if I want to know more about creating new job, then I might read this. Or if I know, I get the slight idea, okay, creating new job will create the new job, let's say, I would click on the create. If I don't want, I'll click on the cancel. So it is much more easier to understand than this one. Okay, so this is bad UI, this is a good UI. Like communicating error. Okay, now the email ID is, there is a problem with the email ID. So you should basically talk in that vicinity of the email ID itself, rather than talking on to the top of the page, and then again not denoting which is the, where is the problem, which field I have done wrong or something. Making user read that thing is I would say it's like a criminal. Like you always want to give some hint to the user itself. Like your design should talk much more than the text itself. Like having this in a vicinity of each other, like we saw the proximity principle, because they are in each other's proximity, they creates connection, right? And that's why you get to know just by looking at it, there is some problem with the email field. Okay, and this problem is denoted over here itself, and your eye also follow a natural movement reading this and then this, rather than moving up and down over here. Let's see the next one, delete account. Okay, so if you see this, if you provide a text in this particular format compared to in a bullet points, right? This is much more easier to comprehend. You'll permanently lose profile, message, photos. Do you really want to delete this account? Over here, delete account. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to lose, but I don't want to, surely don't want to read all of this text. So I might cancel this, let's say. Or maybe I just delete account and then get to know, okay, I think my photos also are got deleted, something like that. So always present your data in easy to understand manner. Let's do some fun stuff. We have seen this. Okay, there are some of the things like this is the example of progressive disclosure. Okay, this is the wrong example. This is the bad design. Let's see what is the good design. So if you see over here, it is concise. It is not unnecessary talking about the remember my info and all of those things. If user, whenever user clicks on this, then only the mobile field and all will be visible for user. If user haven't clicked, no need to show all this information, right? So that is progressive disclosure. It makes user understand the important thing, concentrate on those things, and move ahead. Okay. Then we have seen this consistency, contrast. Yeah, this is the another example of proximity. So if you have seen like Swiggy or other app, you might see something like menus in this particular way. But if you put it in this way, it is in a way kind of hard to understand, okay, which are the pizzas that are available or burgers that are available and all of this. But if you categorize them well with a proper proximity, okay, then you able to know, acha, burger, these are about the burgers. Okay, these is about the pizzas, right? You get the difference visually itself, right? Let's say this is like a, let's say, contact of, let's say, Sam Flick. But if you show it in this particular manner, like the proximity looks like everything is different itself. But if you just adjust the proximity, it starts to make sense, right? Like who is the founder, who is co-founder, visual designers. It easy to go through this data than this data, right? The proximity is always helpful. Be mindful about the proximity in the design elements on your screens. Let me just show you. Yeah. So this is an example of a really bad UI. So here is an example of a really, really bad UI. Okay. There's a lot of text. It says user. What is this? Like there is a typing mistake also. This button says no. What to say no? And if I try to click, this does not click as well. It says please click here, whether you have to click here or go to the next page. Is it a link or not? And if you try to click, nothing would happen. So I'll just provide you this link. There's nothing but somebody has created the really bad design, really bad UI design. You can just try for yourself. And you will able to understand as in how user uh, have to go through when they see the bad design. Okay, all right. Let's see some design trends. Okay, so this is the modern minimal. Modern minimal is the newest, modern and minimalistic. Okay, like every line or the every element are there for certain reasons. There is no extra line, no decoration, nothing in a way. So that is the modern minimalistic uh, GUI, you would say. uh, is trending right now. You can spot many inspiration from different style in it, but it's okay, all works together and doesn't exceed the certain level of visual complexity. So if you see all of these UIs, okay, like it will look blur to you because they are on the PowerPoint. Let me just check if I have some of this. No, I think I don't have it over here, but all right. But you get the ideas, right? Like when you see this UI, they are minimal, right? And because the next is again minimalism and simplification. Okay, so take a look at the most. I think there is a. It's not like a concrete like when we say modern minimal and minimalism and simplification. These are just the words. Whenever you see some of the website, you will directly get okay. This looks minimal. This maybe looks modern. Okay, this looks very simple. Okay, because they might be sharing some of the tenant. One of the tenant is nothing is extra. As in, when I say extra, everything is there for certain reason. Okay, so leading tech companies and uh, like this is Apple website. This is I think Meta. This one is I don't know. This one is Clary. So you can see over here, it is very minimal, very to the point. Nothing decorative about over here, right? Usually use some products and all of those things. Achha, this is Revolut, not Apple. Felt like Apple, no? Okay. So year by year, this trend is getting bigger and bigger, and more brands are using it, starting to use it. Mostly because the minimal, whenever you have a minimal design, it's easy to comprehend. User understand where to go and what to do, rather than having lot of elements on the screens. Okay. Less is more. That is the funda they follow. Next is brutalism. Brutalism embraces flat design, strong outline, contrasting colors, bold typography, and real life photography. However, this is new iteration of brutalism forgoes one of its main defining factor, the seemingly absent grid. Okay, usually these designs does not follow any particular grid. Okay, they are basically random in a way. Currently, it use all of the other traits, but conforms to conforms to a more standard layout often seen in the other designs. Right? So if you can see over here, Gumroad, this is Figma's website. Okay, or here some of the website you can see the color they are using. I don't know this like brutalism usually share some of the links as well, like without anything in a way. I think I might have some of the examples. Let me just check. Yeah. Let's go to Chrome. Yeah. Okay. So here I'll show you. This is like the okay. If you just see this website, there is nothing like it is in a way brutally honest. I would say is it's like to the point, nothing extra. Like these are the music videos, commercial info. That's it, and website be done. Okay. Let's see if some of the websites are live. Yeah. See, this is one of the website does not following any specific grid or the any conventional grid system over here, right? Everything is in red color, red and gray and all of those things. Okay, all product. See, everything is red, and there is nothing extra in these websites also, right? But they will just make something like using red color is like everything is in red, no hierarchy, highly brutal it seems, right? It's like a designer is adamant, I'm not going to use any color other than red or this gray. And it has its own charm to it as in. See, another example of brutalism. All are links itself. There is nothing extra, nothing is brutally. They just want to show the information in the bullet point itself, nothing else. Even they have provided some of the, like this particular element, like the signature, and just overlapping on the text itself. Okay. So you get the idea about the brutalism. Once you go through all of this website, you will get, okay, what is brutalism is, and whether you will just decide whether you want to use it this way. If the company is your organization's uh, nature is of this particular kind, then you can create, or you maybe you can create your portfolio if you want to showcase in a this particular way, right? All right, let's see the next. Yeah, glass morphism, glass inspired element. So you would see even the, like this is Apple iPhone, where you would see a lot of gradients. Now, if you have seen the artificial intelligence, like Apple Intelligence, they've used a lot of gradients. Looks like a polished glass, uh, the Siri elements, and all of those things. New and fresh. Okay. So this is glassomorphism. There's a background blur, semi-transparent object like card, watercolor, glass-looking spheres, and more from native elements in Mac OS Big Sur and Windows 11. Yeah, Windows also got back their glass element into their system, which was earlier there in Windows. I think, yeah, uh, Windows 7 had, I think, whenever you have to whenever you used to click on start icon, it used to come in glass. I think Windows Vista
Yes.
had morphism for you. Next is Aurora backgrounds. Like whenever you use this backgrounds, the gradient backgrounds and all, like more like Aurora, like this is like then we can call it like this is the trend basically. It's not uh, more towards the glass morphism also, like over here. So what are the tenets of it? Subtle, colorful, blurred, splashes of colors, look very friendly and organic, and definitely more visually attractive. Those splashes can be used as an entire background or just an emphasis under some of the important UI elements. So you can use these elements, you can create a beautiful, like you guys were saying, you have to create some uh, poster, right? You can actually use any of these styles and you can create the posters, right? This is, you can use it as an inspiration, and you can mention it in your assignment also. Whenever you are provided with the assignment, it's a good practice to always write the rationale also besides it. It's not in any company also. I think it just you might just say feel like it's just a poster that you have to show, but it's not about the poster. Uh, they are going to evaluate on your thought process, so you should write the thought process over there. Okay. In companies also, whenever you are working on the UX project, always you'll have to create a working backward document. Working backward is like user centric document that you'll have to create, where you will be mentioning your design decisions, the rationale behind it, and all of those, right? So always make habit of these things. Okay, next one is holographic and neon. So you can see lot of neon color has been used. You can see this blue gradient over here, like there's some light coming out of neonish light. Over here there is a uh, gradient that has been used, looks more like a silver gelatin paper, right? Over here there are some of the uh, I wouldn't say like the holographic uh, perception that is coming out of this particular poster, it says. Then these are the wallpaper. Here and you can see how the neon color has been used. Over here as well, the blue, the pink, the gradient between them. Okay, this cyber hollow neon trend seems to fit well into era of metaverse, VR, and hologram interface. Designers are getting inspired by all the new possibilities that the virtual world would virtual worlds have to offer. Vibrant glowing colors, abstract round shapes, hologram looking textures are typically for this. So some of you can take this as an inspiration for your posters and create a holographic neonic designs. Okay. Then there's eco-conscious cardboard style. So you can see all the like more of a pastel earthen colors that has been used in the design gives the eco vibe, like more cardboard like, more earthen like. It says we as a consumer are getting more and more eco conscious every year. It looks like you can incorporate that eco look and feel into digital products. Backgrounds are usually grayish to resemble the recycled cardboard. Typography is minimal in style. Contrast is high. Colors are quite strict and seem dimmed. No cute 3D objects. Okay, this time. This style embraces real life photography. Okay, whenever you're using this eco-conscious cardboard style, you'll try to use more real life images, okay, textures and as well as doodles. Wild typography. This is uh, like from last 1 or 2 years. This has been also trending. Like the typography is getting more and more fancier. So you who must have seen some of this website. I don't know. I have seen this one and the last one itself. Last one is I don't know which company it is, but I had seen it on the awards.com. I would also give you that. Uh, this is good for the inspiration. It's called awards.com. I think some of you might be knowing. When you go to this awards.com, it's like usually the best sites all over the world get featured on this particular websites. So you can just go over here. They also have some of the uh, like every day this will be changing, as in every new website will be on the would be trending over here. Okay. And they also provide some educational blogs also where they talk about some of the design trends and all. So this is also highly recommended. Okay. So in wild typography is you can see in that how the typography has been used with the artwork itself. Like over here, this is like serif font, but in a different way it has been designed. Like you can see some image behind the fundraising text itself. And here also very cool font. Claymorphism, like everything looks like made out of clay. There's a white clay. Wherever you would be showing your mocks and all, you can use this style. There are some icons also that has been getting used, like emojis, memojis, and all of those stuff in a clay-like format, right? This has also been trending. Like everything is 3D, hyper 3D, not real life 3D, but in between the realistic and the cartoonish. Yeah, neomorphism. This is the style I had seen in the app, which is the cred launch for the very first time. The first version they had created was in neomorphism. They had used the black theme, and it was trending at that time. Nowadays, I don't see any particular app using the neomorphism, but this also looks very tactile, uh, and it has a very newness to it itself. Like it's not really skeuomorphism. Skeuomorphism is where, if you remember, the first iPhone that was introduced, everything was like more closer to realistic. Like if you see the notepad was actually looking like a notepad itself. Even the calculator was like a realistic calculator. Let me just show you like iOS calculator app, which is inspired from Brown. Yeah. So in 2007, when they had launched the iPhone, the calculator app was looking like this. This was more closer to the realistic version. So this is called as a skeuomorphism. In 2018, it became very flat. Uh, right? So here there is no 3D-ness to it in a way. So this is skeuomorphism, but this particular trend is called as neomorphism. All right. So we saw some of the design trend. You can use this trend and maybe it will be helpful for in your poster design activity uh, that way. Okay. Let's see some wireframe and UI fidelities. Okay. First of all, what is wireframe? As we have seen, as in the templatization of your, okay, let's not say it in that particular manner. Okay. Uh, Wireframe is a tool that designers use to represent clear view of a page structure. Okay. Basically, the wireframe is a blueprint of your UI design. Okay. A blueprint of your UI design. So they're from low fidelity to high fidelity. This each level serves a different purpose. Okay. So if I just search for the wireframes, I go to images and you would see like these are the wireframes. Okay, this is low fidelity wireframe. It's usually at the starting of your uh, concept designing. You might just use pen and paper. You don't want to just waste your time creating this a bit mid fidelity wireframes and all. You just want to quickly test out your ideas. You will use this low fidelity wireframe, and then maybe you can go to high fidelity, and then you can add colors and all to create the final design, high fidelity designs. Okay, so that is called wireframe. So you can see over here, this is the final design. So this is like a blueprint of your design. These two things are like exactly this will get translated into your design. So here just you are making the design decision where to put the search bar. Should we put it on the top? Should we put it on the bottom? You should be showing some statistic over here. This is for the specific app uh, context. Okay, then you might want to show some of the bus option or the travel option and all of those things, and there will be the navigation bottom navigation icons. Let's say you want to keep three icons, you just uh, quickly create this three circles just to represent that. So this creates a blueprint of your final design in a way. Okay, you can see over here some users use the templates of the phone, and in the templates they draw the screen just to just put your idea on the table. It's the quickest way to create some prototypes and all, just to test it out with yourself itself or your colleagues, uh, just to know whether it makes sense and all. There's a quick prototypes or quick wireframes. Here is the image also. So this is a low fidelity, mid fidelity, and the high fidelity. High fidelity is like final design maybe. Maybe whenever you will be having a developer handoff, at that time you would be always providing the high fidelity prototype. But before you go to the high fidelity, because high fidelity will require more time for each and every element to fine tune, make it pixel perfect and all of this thing. You don't want to lose that much time at the starting of your project itself, right? So you'd be doing the quick wireframes, and you can just test it out. In some of the companies where the style guides are there, so you just don't want to create the wireframes in a wireframe. You might have a button ready made in the design system. You just drag and drop over here, and you can create the wireframe. It does not like your wireframe has to be grayed out or something like that. You just want to build something very quickly without giving much attention to how things are looking like, but how things are placed in a way which makes easier flows for the users. So again, these are like low fidelity, I would say, or mid fidelity, they are saying, and this is high fidelity. Okay, High fidelity wireframes are realistic prototypes that closely resembles the final design of the project. Okay, when to use it, most important, at the end of the design process. Okay, when you need to test complex user interaction, then only. If you want to just test out the flow, you should be good with the wireframes and quickly test out the flow, make changes, test again, and all of those things. Don't get into the final design the uh, uh, at the starting of your project, or in the when you are just creating your first draft of the designs. Okay, when you have enough budget. So I think in any which ways, if you don't have enough budget, you have to create the high fidelity design. Without that, developer is not going to accept any designs and move with the development. Okay, and when you have enough time, this is, you won't be having enough time for any project in any company, uh, unless you are just doing a exploratory work. Then you might have some time, but for most of the projects you would want to work on the wireframes first and then move to the high fidelity designs. Prototyping is like when you connect all these screens which you draw in the wireframing stage. When you connect these things, okay, like connecting means when user would click on get started, you would show some screen, there they will click on something, then it will move to the next screen, and so this particular flow is called as a prototyping. And Figma gives you the ability to create the to make transition between screens, and also it will look high fidelity prototype itself. So make yourself friends with Figma or Sketch, whichever the application, design application that is there to serve your purpose a lot. Let me go back to the previous UI. Huh. So there are plugin for the contrast. What I'm writing, contrast. Yeah. So here is the plugin. So this plugin makes our life much more easier. So if I click on any particular thing, it actually recognizes the color of that element as well as on what background it is, and it gives us the this particular contrast ratio. Okay. So as per the guidelines, this is a worldwide guidelines, not iOS, not Android. Some agency worldwide have provided some of the guidelines for the better contrast. Okay. So the threshold is 4.5. Okay. So even if you see, you can see this gray and white, but it is still not accessibility wise good. Okay, so if you want to provide it, make it more accessible, you might want to go see if you can see, as soon as I'm changing the color, the contrast it is getting, like if I'm using this particular color for the last text, then it's good to go, it says AA, right? So AA means good to go. If I'm using it for normal text, then it's no, it fails. Okay, because it is 3.69. When it goes to 4.5, so you can see for the normal text, it is, you can use this particular color on the white background specifically. If I change the background, let's say if my background is gray, now if I check, it will still fail. Now this color is also not usable on this specific background. Okay. So same way you will have to basically be more conscious about this accessibility, because this makes your content more legible, more accessible to wider uh, audience. Like imagine, as in the Amazon app is used worldwide, and there are so many types of people in the world that have so many problems, right? They might not be able to distinguish between some of the colors. Some people might not be able to see also. Okay, so there has to be voice recognition, screen reader, and all of those things. These, once you read the accessibility guidelines that is provided by iOS and Android, all of this thing will, you will know in much more clarity. Okay, because these devices, iOS, even Android, is been used by various kinds of users. in your phone also you must be having accessibility settings. So you can see for the visually impaired there are some setting for those who have ear impairment. For them there are some settings. For those who are like handicaps, they all for them also there are some settings. You can go through those specifically, and just fiddle around, and just always be mindful about these people also. uh, because in any which ways, if you see business backward also, there are a lot of such kind of people. Okay, so that is business wise also it makes sense. And also, to make your app more accessible for wider audience, it is always useful to go through all of this guidelines that we saw today.